Hey everybody, this is TotalGamerJunkie. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what I believe would be the 10 most overpowered powers to have in the Life is Strange universe. Now this is just a list I put together. Your opinions may be different, but I believe we could all agree that the last one on the list would be the most powerful one. Now the free powers I'm not gonna be listing time travel because Max has it, telekinesis because that's what Daniel has, and invisibility, which I believe Tristan has, and I'm gonna cover that in another video. Okay, but without further ado, let's get started. So I believe for number one, I believe an overpowered ability or OP ability would be intangibility. Now, intangibility, that's actually what Kitty Pryde has. And basically what that means is you have the ability to alter your atoms in your body to a way that you can walk through walls or let things go through you because as you've seen in the X-Men movies, Kitty Pryde's able to go through walls, and at the beginning of X-Men The Last Stand, she was able to, what do you call it? She was able to use her powers to stop objects from going through her. Like there was this missile coming, and she hugged Bobby, and the power transferred to him too. So the missile went right through them both and exploded into another area. I think it was a missile. I haven't seen it in a while. And not because it's like the worst one in the series. It's just I haven't really watched X-Men movies in a while. Anyways, while this power would be OP, like in my opinion, is because if you were to use it for evil, you could just walk into a bank if you wanted to, took as much money as you wanted, and walked out. And you have security trying to arrest you, but they can't touch you. And if someone tries shooting bullets at you or stunning you with a taser, nothing would work. Even if you were, let's just say you were to get arrested, right? They put the handcuffs on you. You can just alter your atoms and just move out of them. You're in a police car that's driving, you can just get out of there, basically. Yeah, the only way really for you to be for a person like this to be stopped is if they were because if they were in a medical coma, for example, like the government puts this person in a coma after they get knocked out, because you could, like, if you got shot with a tranquilizer bullet, like if you didn't see where it was coming from, then because the power's not always on, you have to trigger it yourself. It's not just automatically protecting you with a shield. If you were to get shot with a tranquilizer dart and then tried to use the power, it wouldn't work. You'd be knocked out. Then the government could kill you or put you in a medical coma, and you wouldn't wait. And that way, you wouldn't wake up, and you wouldn't be able to use your power to escape. Alright, so that's the first one. So moving on to the second one is shapeshifting. Now, you can look at this at both ways, shapeshifting to be another person or an animal. Let's go with people first. Now this, like, is very dangerous because for bad people, because as you know, like, take Mystique for example, you can change into anyone you want. But, like, because Life is Strange, what I like about the powers is in a way, they're grounded in realism. Like, for example, intangibility, I believe, like how that would work in Life is Strange is you could make yourself, you can make your body basically pass through walls and like such, like walls, doors, cars, buildings. You could get shot at, the bullets would fly through you, but I guess if you're passing through objects, wouldn't that mean that your clothes would also pass through your body? So you'd be practically naked. Or another way to look at it is if you do rob a bank and you're carrying the loot, you try to use your power, it's you wouldn't be able to take the money, for example, unless it was on your person. Like, because with Max, when you use Max's rewind power, whatever she has with her in her pockets on her person rewinds with her. So I guess if you were to use the intangibility power, then whatever you had on with you becomes intangible too, I guess. Alright, anyways, back to shapeshifting. So, if shapeshifting was in Life is Strange, I believe the person could look like another person, but they wouldn't sound like them. Because, like I said, grounded in reality. Now, another thing is, if you were to shapeshift, you wouldn't shapeshift your clothes. you'd be able to change your appearance, but and maybe your gender, but clothes, that would definitely be nut, because the clothes are just attire that you're putting on your body. It's not actually part of your body. But you never know. With like in comic book world, you can shapeshift to look like anyone basically. Yeah, like Mystique does. Whenever she changes with a person's clothes, and she has them mysteriously on. And then when she turns back to her normal self, they're gone. You know, that is a bit weird. And the other form of shapeshifting is with animals. So if you were to shapeshift as an animal, then your clothes would also, like, you decide to become a dog, a cat, a crow, a snake, your clothes wouldn't change with you. You'd shrink out of them or grow out of them depending on what animal you are. And when you change back to human, you'd be naked and you'd have to find some other clothes. But shapeshifting, how you use it determines how overpowered you would be in the Life is Strange universe. Now, the third power I have is immortality. Now, this one can be good and bad how you consider it. It really depends on where you are placed in history. Like, if you are in, like, if you take a look at Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for example, Cassandra, I guess you could say that the staff of Trismegistus, that's what was making her, stay young. But when she gave it to fucking Lila, she died instantly. So if we're looking at terms of immortality, I guess you could look at Cain as well from the Lucifer series, season 3 to be exact. What could happen there is you could never die. So being in immortality is like you're not invincible, okay? You're not like Superman. If you like get a finger cut off and that, it's gonna cut off, but it wouldn't grow back, I think, because I don't. That's not immortality stops you from dying. It doesn't really help regrow your limbs, but maybe that could work out, like, because immortality and regeneration are two separate powers. They're not complete. They're not the same. Anyways, like if you're immortal in the 15th, 14th century, then you're going to be able to get by fine. You can explore the world and that. But if you're around the 21st century and you do something that seems that's very abnormal, and the government gets a hold of it, they could track you down, and basically you'd spend your eternal life running from them and hiding, or maybe you'd join the government, but you'd have to fight for them, their battles, their wars. Like I don't know. These are just like things I'm coming up with. I'm working on Life is Strange theories. Just yes, please just go easy on me in the comments. All right, now the fourth one is teleportation. Now teleportation has its pros and cons too. The pros being that you can teleport anywhere you want to, but for this one, I want to look at Nightcrawler's because I believe his teleportation is the most grounded. You see, Nightcrawler can teleport anywhere he wants to, but he has to see the place, basically. He has to know, he has to have been there, basically. He has to be able to see it in his mind so he can teleport there. You can't just be like, oh, okay, I decided I want to go to the Eiffel Tower. It doesn't work like that. He has to actually have seen the place, like get a picture of it in his mind, and then teleport like that. But you never know. Let's just say you're teleporting somewhere that used to be an old park. If you're not careful, you can teleport into a tree and instantly kill yourself, or teleport into a building, another person. That's why, like, teleportation, while it is an OP power to use, it's also a pretty dangerous one if you're not extremely careful with it. Okay, moving on to number 5 would be super strength. Now, in the Life is Strange universe, I believe super strength would be grounded to the Hulks, not in the movies with Mark Ruffalo, in the Marvel movies with him, and there was that one before the Marvel movies started, the one with the other Hulk actor who got canned for some reason because he was difficult to work with, I believe. I believe that the Hulk from the old, I believe it was, what was it, the 70s or 80s show? that Hulk had super strength, but he could also, if he got shot, the bullets would hurt him. It's like, and he could die from bullet wounds, but he still had super strength, because there are times in the show, if you're watching, when people are shooting at him, the Hulk has to grab like something metal and use it to cover himself up and approach the enemies and then take them out. Because even though he has super strength, he can lift stuff up. He doesn't he's not in, he does sorry, getting tongue tied. He doesn't have invulnerability. He can't just bounce off the bullets like the R Hulk in the 21st century does. And that's why if Life is Strange were to give you super strength, it would be grounded like that. Alright, so for the sixth one, super speed, that would be an overpowered ability. Where you could just run wherever you want to, and you can just like go wherever you want to in a span of seconds. But it would all depend how fast you're going, because not all people with super speed have the same amount of speed. Like if you look at Young Justice, for example, you had the Flash, then Kid Flash, and Impulse, and Kid Flash was the slowest of them all. Like even Quicksilver, you got Quicksilver from the Marvel movies, and then Quicksilver from the Marvel's X-Men. The X-Men Quicksilver is way faster than Marvel's Quicksilver. The Quicksilver who's the brother of Scarlet Witch. Now, what else is there? Like, I guess, because for me, super speed, I never understood how when you're moving so fast, everything slows around you. Because for me, that's a little bit confusing. Wouldn't it be if you're moving too fast, you wouldn't be able to see what you're doing and you'd stack it? Because our brain has a certain reaction time depending on not good, sorry, how old your brain is, how young it is, like how much you study in that. If you keep improving on your brain, you can get it smarter. But basically, the faster you're running, the less of a reaction time you would have if something comes flying out at you. So you wouldn't want to be going faster than the speed of light, because you'd crash into something. You wouldn't have a fast enough reaction time. Because really, people who with super speed also have the ability to slow down time. In my opinion, that's how it works. That's why they're so fast. Because really, super speed is just slowing down time and running. If you want to be literal and break it down like that. Well, that's my opinion on it. But super speed, depending on how fast you're moving and how good a reaction time is, that would be a really good, useful thing to have. But like, if you're going too fast, then it wouldn't be a good power to have. Now, the next one is elemental control. Now, imagine this, for example, you have, what do you call it? You have powers like the Avatar. Any Avatar from the Avatar series. No, not the movie with the blue Na'vi people. I mean, the animated series with Korra and Aang. Basically, if you had that water, earth, fire, air, you'd be completely unstoppable. There really would be no downside to having these powers, because you control the elements. You do what you want with them, and you wouldn't have to do anything you didn't want to. If someone's giving you lip, boom, you just rock them right in the face. Or like let's just say there's what do you call it? You're at like a party on a house, and then there's someone who's like giving you lip. You just boom, you airbend them right off the building, but you do it conspicuously to make it look like there was a big gust of wind coming out, and then they end up being blown off the side, and people are like, "Oh God, what an unfortunate accident." Or or for example, you want to burn a house down and kill someone, you can do that. Like if you want to burn a house down to get the insurance money, you can burn the house from the inside, and you wouldn't need any like gasoline or any. Basically, you wouldn't need a starter to start the fire, because that's how firemen, like, they check. They make sure, like, was the gas left on? Was there an accelerant used? No, you could just burn down these houses, and they wouldn't be able to figure out how you're doing it, because it would seem like the fire started naturally. And then you could be, oh, sweet, okay, I get to collect the insurance money. And another thing for water is like, if you wanted to explore the sea, for example, you could create a big amount of water to surround your body, and then you could just look under the sea. Of course, that means like sharks and that could try and get you, but you could use the water. You could like make it kind of hardened or something like that, just to wield off sharks. You know, like get out of here. So there wouldn't really be a downside to having elemental control. It'd be nothing but up. At least that's my opinion. Alright, for number 8, I believe this would be the second most overpowered ability on this list, telepathy. Or, you know, like, telepathy? Telepathy, that's it. Sorry, I was saying it wrong. Telepathy, there we go. Basically, if you think Charles Xavier from X-Men, you can read people's minds, you can know when someone's lying to you or not. But, like, you got Magneto, he uses that helmet to block out Charles's ability to read his mind, but in the Life is Strange universe, there wouldn't be anything like that, so no, we're not going to count that. So we're not going there'd be no helmets. Anyways, not only would telepathy, why am I saying telepathy? Telepathy, there we go. Not only would telepathy let you read people's minds, you could also control their minds and erase parts of their memories as well. And that is overpowered in itself. I believe I don't need to tell any of you the uses of having a power like this. Now, for number 9, I believe the ability to increase or decrease your size. That would be pretty useful. Like, if you need to sneak into somewhere, you just shrink down and go under the door crack. Or if you just want to perv on someone, you know, then you just shrink and enter like a shower or like a gym locker room or something. I mean, if that's what you want to do with your powers, I'm not going to judge you. It's whether you choose to be good or evil with them, that's your choice. But this could also be the downside, because let's just say you're sneaking. What if there's like a spider and it comes like to eat you and you don't see it before it's too late and it just starts attacking you? You'd be dead already, and people would be like, oh, it's like Greg or Daniel or Sarah just disappeared off the face of the world. They wouldn't be able to find a body because your body's being digested by an insect. So you'd have to be very careful of the environment you're in when using a shrinking ability. But like if you were to increase your size, for example, that would be pretty cool. It's like you want to try on, let's just say if you decide to change your size to be taller, you could do that. You could make yourself like, if you're 5'7" you could change your height to be 6'11", 7 foot, 8 foot basically. But you'd have to be careful what your size would be, because you don't want to arouse suspicion. So if you were using this power and you wanted to be taller, you, instead of 5'7", you'd wait and then go to 5'8", then go to 5'9". Like, you'd wait a few months to increase your size. I mean, that's like how I'd see it. So it would look like when you're actually growing, you're growing at a normal rate, basically. Now, the last one, this one is, obviously, I think you all agree with me, would be the most OP power of all time. Can any of you guess what it is? Okay, so I'll let you all guess. I'll let you all know now. Basically, the most overpowered ability I believe that you could have in Life is Strange is reality warping, or the ability to alter reality. Now, I know, like, Max's powers, are basically time travel, and when she travels back, she can alter different timelines, but what she's doing is she's not altering reality in a sense. She's using time travel, and basically, in the end, she didn't alter reality herself. It wasn't her choice. She had to go into the transit, and she went to the reality that shined the brightest, and all the Maxes, they went with her and it merged into one reality. So she didn't create it, okay? It was created for her and the other Maxes who merged into one, essentially. Now, with reality warping, this has been done lots of times in different forms of media, different shows, sci-fi shows, Like there was even one reality in a comic book where the Joker essentially he he became like a literal god, I think it was, and he was able to reshape the world how he wanted it. But like reality, you can create a reality where there's no disease, no cancer, no war, no religion, no crime. You could create one where Eve didn't persuade Adam to eat the forbidden fruit with her, like, or maybe she didn't eat it, and so that way the world would have no sin because Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit, and that's how sin came to bear. So yeah, you could create a reality where that didn't happen, and you'd be there with other people who would have all these who wouldn't have all the emotions you have, which that would be pretty strange if you think about it. Yeah, like, well, it'd be strange for you being in this new reality, but for them it would be completely normal. And you'd be able to, how many realities you create, you'd be free to jump to and from whatever ones you want. You create 100 realities, you could go to each one of these a day. Spend one day in one reality you created, then the next day go to another one and another. You're a fan of the zombie apocalypse? Make a reality that has zombies in it, or make a like your own Marvel and DC reality. Like there are no limits to this power. You can do whatever you want. You're basically God, or more powerful than God at least, like, or as powerful, however you want to put it. So anyways, those were my 10, that was my list of 10 powers that would be OP in the Life is Strange universe. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and hopefully later today or early tomorrow, I'll upload a Life is Strange Fury video. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.